Hi, Caleb with Brownells here. I'm back again with Adam from Spiritus Systems. And in our last video, we went over the conception idea behind Spiritus Systems. And we talked about some of the gear a bit, but now I kind of want to talk about why you should be buying this stuff or why anyone would need this stuff more specifically. And it's obvious for the military, law enforcement type setup, but let's talk about, the prepared civilian or, any of those other type of situations. Adam, what do you got for us?
Yeah, sure. So this is one that we actually we get asked quite a bit. What should I buy or why should I buy it? And if we're looking at it from a philosophical standpoint, and we look at historically, at the United States, our personal beliefs as a company are that every man, woman, and child, we are all part of what we would, define as the militia in the Second Amendment. That was the intent of our founding fathers, is that every man, woman, and child should be able to basically manifest their sovereignty as individuals or as a body politic. And we definitely believe that at our core. So everything that we build is available for consumption by American citizens. So you can get on the website. There's no secret menu. It's just all open. You can buy the same things that a guy serving overseas right now, a law enforcement officer, you have equal, equipment to them. And why somebody would want to have those things is pretty simple if you are concerned with security. So you have, everybody goes out, kind of goes through stages when they get interested in something like this. Maybe they go out and they buy a handgun. So they go into a gun shop and they buy, whatever handgun they desire, and then they come home and they have a plastic case with a firearm in it and maybe like 2 magazines. And then the natural progression is, I need something to hold this firearm, so then they buy a holster. It's the same with our equipment. You go and you get your AR-15 or whatever platform you're using, and then you have it for a little bit, and then you're like, well, how do I carry this stuff? Right? Because in order for a weapon to operate, you need to feed it ammunition. And that's really kind of the core of what all of our systems do, right? Is they hold ammunition and then other items that you might need. And we are, for me personally, and the company's philosophy on, defense is that you should have the tools that you're going to need to not only, keep your weapon in operation, but also keep yourself in operation. You're going to want to protect yourself. So that means that having some type of armor is probably going to be critical. And then you're going to need other tools to keep your weapon going or yourself going. So food, water, things like that. So I think that really there shouldn't be any kind of negative connotation attached to equipment. You should be having something to carry your stuff with, and that's what all of this is.
Yeah, absolutely. So supporting equipment to what you already have, basically.
Exactly.
So, yeah, and I can see this stuff being useful for a lot of other purposes, like hunting, hiking.
Sure.
So for example, if I'm going out hunting, I may not be wearing the plate carrier, but
absolutely.
I'm definitely going to be wearing, something to hold my ammunition, my binos, some food, first aid kit, and this is that supporting equipment to do just that.
Yeah, there's a lot of markets. I mean, we have everything from just like a prepared citizen, which would be, kind of the general, right? The general purpose kind of setup. And then we have, hunting. There's a lot of guys who wear, that rig over there, and they load it up with binos. And there's ways to configure that to be more of a pack, like a chest pack, right? More of a traditional hunting rig, using some of our pouches. And then you have guys who are into, there's kind of like a split in the market of you're a prepared citizen, but you also, do some of the tactical fitness type things where, you're running around doing kind of a shooting competition, blend, tactical games, things like that. So this works really well. We have setups that work really well for that because they all kind of, all these different segments of the market bleed into the same kind of philosophy of our equipment, which is the modularity, so that you can shift from, you buy that because you like to hunt, doesn't mean that you can't, swap a magazine insert into it that for your AR-15 as well. You can kind of use the same stuff for all of those segments, really, so all our stuff works for all of it.
Yeah, right. So in theory, if you're into all of those things, the whole variety, you don't have to have, 6 different rigs set up.
Exactly.
You can have, 1 or 2,
sure,
and then swap gear between all of them and be good to go.
Yep, and it's very scalable, so you can go from, kind of our first really mainline product was the microfight chest rig. You can go from a very small chest rig all the way up to a full-scale plate carrier with, back panels and pouches everywhere and, carrying a ton of stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, all that makes perfect sense.
Sure.
So, Adam, I'd like to thank you again for coming out.
Yeah, no problem.
If y'all have any questions or comments or concerns, if you're still not convinced, leave us a comment down below. We'd like to hear from you. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.